I am completely sure that I am not the first one to tell you about the massive amount of information we are bombarded with every single day. That is something we all know and somehow accept. But with all those tons of information coming to our heads day after day after day, how can we make sure that a message we want to send effectively reaches the audience to which it was intended? Here is where multimodal communication comes into play. As I said before, we are receiving immeasurable amounts of information every day, but out of all that information, a message will only have been effective if it has reached the audience and caused an effect on it. So the question is, how do we do this? Well, if I knew the answer, I would probably be holding conferences on marketing and audiovisual communication around the world. But something is quite clear. There are different means of communication that allow us to convey certain messages. There is written communication, there is oral communication, there is visual communication, but there is one with the power to bring them all together. That is audiovisual communication. But why am I saying all this? Because the point of this multimodal analysis will be to argue why audiovisual communication is in most cases the most effective one when it comes to conveying and transmitting a message. To do this, I have chosen 3 videos from 3 very different genres: general message, a commercial, and a video protest, all made by my favorite filmmaker, Casey Neistat, in order to show how effectively such different messages can be transmitted through the same medium without affecting their quality and still being entertaining. Also, we will be able to see how the 5 modes of communication, visual, linguistic, oral, spatial, and gestural, are used in different ways, adapting to such different situations and proving that way the versatility of audiovisual communication. The videos that we will be having a look at will be Life Explained in 27 Seconds, Make It Count, and Stolen Bike in New York City. So now that everything is set, let the analysis begin. Life Explained in 27 Seconds begins with a light, happy music and a black screen with the word Life written in the top left corner of the screen. But suddenly, both the scene and the music change radically. The music turns heavier and a series of messages appear on top. Casey walks in the center of the frame, but he's not going anywhere. At this point, the author has primarily used the visual mode, the oral mode, and the linguistic mode. As we can see him walking, we can hear the music, and we are being given information via written words. And now the author used the spatial mode and the gestural mode to reinforce the message that he was trying to convey with the linguistic mode. Make It Count represents the second audiovisual genre in this multimodal analysis, the commercial. At this point, the author is making use of the visual mode as he is showing us the actual wristband. Casey makes use of the spatial mode as he goes out of his office building and then runs out of the frame. Now the author goes on to use the linguistic mode, making us aware of the situation and what the video is going to be about with some text in a black background.
Definitely make this flight, but we're cutting it close. So far the trip is off to a fairly irresponsible start.
From this moment on, Casey will be narrating with video and audio their whole trip. And as you may have noticed, he just used the other 2 modes that were left. The oral mode, brought in by the music and his voice, and the gestural mode, when he pointed the camera at himself while talking, showing us his facial expressions. Throughout the video, Casey will be providing us with really good examples of how the 5 modes of communication can be used to engage your audience in whatever story you're telling. But among those examples, I would like to bring out those of the spatial and the oral mode, as I think are the most difficult to bring in flawlessly.
So my bike got stolen last week, and it was my fault. But, well, here's what happened.
This last video begins with Casey narrating something that happened to him recently, making use of the visual, oral, and linguistic modes.
This is my office,
which is now reinforced with the gestural mode.
and there's nowhere to lock your bike. So I have to put mine at the end of the block. There.
And spatial mode. From this point, there are not many variations in the ways the author uses the different modes of communication, but towards the end, the oral mode is used to help represent the idea of passing time. And by the very end of the movie, an epilogue in written words introduces the final conclusion. After having gone through all three videos and having analyzed how each mode of communication behaves in all these different contexts, we could draw the conclusion that there is not one specific mode that is absolutely more effective than any other one. But conversely, we could say that each mode is combined with any of the others, adapting to every situation and providing the audience with information in a unique way. Which takes us back to the beginning of the video when I said that this combination can only happen in audiovisual communication.